Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS Academy. In this video, we'll be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? Your Uttarakhand cabinet agrees for the rules ahead of the UCC rollout. In this video, we'll be seeing as to why is it in use, what is the relevance of it to UPSC, that is the GS paper 2. We will also be discussing about your Uniform Civil Code and we will also be seeing some associated challenges with it. Alright, let's get the video started. Look at this. Uttarakhand's Pushkar Dhami cabinet convened Monday to approve the UCC, which is expected to be rolled out after the local body elections in the state, because again, your model code of conduct will be there. Once it is rolled out, Uttarakhand will become the first state to implement the UCC. Next, organizations representing the interests of Muslims claim that the code violates Article 246 and its provisions either impose one religion on another. They have also alleged lack of clarity on key issues such as inheritance and marriage. Alright, this will be the course of our video in the discussion. Now, first and foremost, Uttarakhand government, the one that is formed today, they held that the first provision that they would do when they come into power is to roll out your UCC. But again, there's a lot of things issued with your UCC, that you have to train the officials, you have to make sure that they are well versed in handling the amount of data that will be coming, and they thought they will roll out the scheme for the 24th foundation day of the state, but again, because of training of the staff, they had to delay it. So Uttarakhand is the now once the rules are all said done, the UCC website pay training, everything is going on. Once it rolls out, your Uttarakhand will become the first state to implement Uniform Civil Code. That is your UCC. What are the rules according to your UCC now that Uttarakhand has passed? We will have a look into it. So, according to Uniform Civil Code, which Uttarakhand is trying to implement in its state, will have to do that. These are all the necessary prerequisite. What are those? First and foremost, online portals will be provided wherein you have to log in using your Aadhaar based verification, that is, you need your Aadhaar card to log in. Also, AI based translation services, that is, translation will be provided in 22 Indian languages to make sure everyone can avail the services. To fast track the process, Tatkal services will be provided and a separate fee for this has also been set up. A mock drill will be conducted just to see how it will happen. Alongside this, there will be a data integration of 13 departments which will have the live data present in one place regarding your life, death, marriage, divorce, etc. Okay. They have also set up offices, that is more than 10,000 village development officers, or what we call as VDOs. District-wide nodal officers are also present, and your common service centers are all equipped to make sure that people are going to benefit from this UCC without any technical difficulties or lack of support staff. Now, all this that I mentioned all utilizes your internet, your verification, etc. Now, what about places which do not have, like mountainous regions, which do not have good internet connectivity nor your infrastructural connectivity? What do you do for that? For that, they have held that there will be offices going door to door in these regions so that the common people can avail these services. So this is the preparation for the rollout of your UCC. Understanding? Now, one of the major issues with regard to your UCC that people are pointing out is Fine, you're doing all the necessary conditions, mock drills, you're training the personnel officials, fine. But your UCC, they are telling, speaks about only marriage, divorce, and live-in relationships. These kind of things only. They are not speaking about, that is your UCC proposed by the Uttarakhand is not speaking about the dispute mechanism, which speaks about how the committee had drafted rules, which was headed by your Shatrughan Singh, where the committee had drafted rules for your dispute mechanism, meaning how, one example will take. Let's say a couple has decided to divorce. They have a child. Now, how they will decide through the child custody is each parent is supposed to give a parenting plan. Based on that, and also they will ask the child's decision. They will look into all the factors along with your income, maintenance, everything, and then they will come to a decision. They said this dispute mechanism, if they bought into UCC, then this would be very, very speedy instead of the time consuming processes that it takes in the courts. But your UCC has not taken into this dispute mechanism, but rather just speaks on these issues, and they have left these things such as your a child custody, inheritance, etc. It has left for the courts to decide. This is not part of your UCC. Is UCC rules, that is Uniform Civil Code, is it applicable to everyone? In Uttarakhand, we are specifically speaking about Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand, it is applicable to all residents of Uttarakhand except the tribal community, which makes it up to 2.9% of the population in Uttarakhand are tribal community. Majority of them are this section, where your Taru community, this is the largest. We will deal with the question why only they are exempt. See, one common example is, let's say regarding your polygamy. UCC is against polygamy. In tribal communities, they used to practice polygamy. But when spoken to the tribal community regarding these things, the younger generation of the tribals claim that yes, once it was practiced, but presently if you see, this practice of polygamy has become very rare. So we do not have any issue with you getting that. We welcome that move is what your tribals of Uttarakhand have held that. But the northeast regions of tribals, etc., have claimed that no, you are interfering in the way of life and way of age-old practices of tribals. So you cannot bring in UCC for us because it affects our age-old practices. So your tribal community is kept outside fully, completely they are kept outside the ambit of Uniform Civil Code. Now, when couples get married, they have 6 months of time to register to your UCC, whereas your couple who are living in a or who are in a live-in relationship have 1 month of time to register to your UCC. Your Uniform Civil Code is present in your Article 44 of your DPSP. What are the minorities take on your Uniform Civil Code? First and foremost, your organizations are holding that this Uniform Civil Code is violative of Article 246. Your Article 246 deals with the 7th schedule. What is it? Distribution of powers between, that is your union list, state list, and your concurrent list. And one more thing that your minorities have raised a question is, how can you exempt the tribal community and make it a mandatory that your minorities have to be following UCC? There are many provisions in this which are against our religion, is what they're claiming. What are those? For example, minimum marriage age. According to the UCC, that is Uniform Civil Code, it brings the marriageable age for guys as 21, for girls as 18. This is in line with your Hindu Marriage Act of 1955 and Special Marriages Act of 1954. So they are claiming you are bringing the marriage age to this, which means it is like you are going on towards this. Whereas if you look into your Muslim personal law, marriageable age for a woman is considered when she hits her puberty. Let's say that's around 13 years of age. So this is coming in contradiction with this. Alongside that, this concept comes in contradiction with multiple things. What are those? For example, protection of children from sexual offenses. Engaging in a sexual activity minor is a criminal offense. And also Prevention of Child Marriage Act. So this law comes in contradiction with these two also. So these are the things that are considered as outlawed, which means these cannot be practiced anymore. What are those? For example, look at this: bigamy and polygamy. You can't marry more than one person. Next is iddat, or it's a waiting period for a woman to remarry. What is that? 4 months, 10 days of time is the waiting period before a woman can remarry. Next is nikah halala, which means it prevents a man from remarrying his wife who he divorced. This prevents a man from remarrying his wife who he divorced unless and until this particular woman gets divorced from the second husband or on the death of the second husband. So this also cannot be practiced. And if anyone compels in any way to do this, then they will be jailed for up to 3 years or they can be fined up to 1 lakh rupees. Another main question is regarding your co-parcenary system or your Hindu undivided families, where this your Uniform Civil Code remains silent, which means it's like more of a descent of families, more core of families where they will live together. So the hierarchical rights on these they remain silent. Whereas if you see with respect to inheritance, according to the Uniform Civil Code, both men and women get equal. Understanding? Now, when the minorities have been asked about your UCC, they have held that it is violative of their rights and they will knock on the court's door. They will knock on the court's door, which means they will approach Uttarakhand High Court to stay this or to exclude Muslims completely, so as to, until and unless center comes up with a rule so that they cannot be taken away or a particular religion cannot be imposed upon them. Okay, this is it. We have reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.